Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Del Mar as we wrap up week number 3 here where the surf meets the turf. Good 11-race program this afternoon with a couple of stakes. I'm Kurt Hoover. Be with you throughout the day and throughout the meet. And joining me here is Ryan Flanders, a.k.a. Benny South Street. Ryan, good card today. A couple of stakes, one in the turf and one for the younger horses.
Looking forward to it. Another beautiful day. I mean, the highlight for me is going to be, of course, the last race, Benny the Jet.
Right, there you go.
Last, so.
Yeah, Benny the Jet in the final race. Good racing today. Good grass racing, weather perfect once again with a little light breeze coming off the ocean. Okay, let's get to the first race. All first-timers. What do we do in race number 1?
I call this the prep race for the Futurity, right? Isn't this the Bob Baffert prep race? So the Baffert Futurity prep race is the first today. September 7th is the official Futurity. I like to check my calendar. These races line up. If you wait another week and you want to get a race in, you're looking at less than a month in.
Yeah.
So this is typically the race. I feel like one of these two will win the first. $1.9 million between them. That'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
Butane is going to be my top pick. Nothing clever here. 2-5 on the board right now. By Tiz the Law, out of Taboo, who has dropped some very solid runners. And then moving inside, we've got a Justify, who, mommy there, Starship Bonita, banked over $600,000, was a very nice sprinter. This is her first full to make the track. So Juan Hernandez usually gets the top mounts for Mr. Baffert. That's why I landed there. Probably a no-play race for me unless I single on the pick.
Yeah, I thought the other horse that might run well, the Mandela Medici. Mandela knocked off the Baffert first time yesterday. Yeah, Medici's out of a Grade 1 winning mare, made almost $900,000, and both her winners are debut winners. So I thought maybe Medici if you're looking for an alternative to Baffert too. On to race 2, 6 go here, and to me it looks like the favorite's going to be very tough to beat here for Mark Glatt.
And I won't try.
Yeah.
Just a massive speed figure, and then if you go back, you look, this horse hasn't run since February, has that maturity angle as well, so we've got about 5 months in there where we can probably project some improvement as well. If you're looking to sprinkle something, maybe into an exacta or something, if you do like Formula Rossa, which I do, So There She Was for Doug O'Neill. Kind of that same angle. Hasn't been seen since her 2-year-old season. Ran a nice third in the Del Mar Debutante. I was running well before that. So, again, big move up for that one. I'm probably 3-2, although likely single for the 3.
Yeah, I went 3-5. I thought Jensko might run well. It's trained well for John Sheriffs. Has some decent form way back in 2023-24, but it looked chalky to me, too. 3-5 in race number 2. On to the third, a field of 9 going this one. How do you sort this one out?
I'm going to land on a runner here that probably doesn't fit the bill in terms of the style of winners. You know, there were 13 races last year going a mile in the maiden special weight category, which is the third race. Only 6 of them, or rather 6 of them won. Another 6 finished either second or third. So speed is what you want in this race. Non-domicile will be my top pick, and I'm not sure this one has a whole lot of speed. So with a little bit of caution, I'm going to land on the one non-domicile for George Papadromo. It's freshened, ran a decent debut, got knocked around, lost 3 lengths at the start, ran okay thereafter, gets blinkers, shows up as a first-time gelding today with a clean break and can get away. Hopefully can be forwardly placed. I'm going to land on that runner. And then Subic Boy for Jeff Mullins, ACL Espinoza. I'm going back to that May 3rd race. A lot of trouble in that race. Lost 3 lengths at the start and then just hated the kickback. Ran on just fine, was even. I projected that one to do much better on the stretch out, so I'm going to draw a line right through that race over the turf course, make this one the second start over dirt. 1-3 for me in the third.
I don't have a strong opinion here. I picked Key Thing Thunder. This horse has run 2 good races, puts on blinkers. I don't love the horse, but I picked the horse on top. I thought Mom Says was an intriguing first-time starter for O.J. Howdicke and Hector Barrios. The Dam was a debut winner by 11 lengths at Parks and has had 3 winners. It is difficult to win going long first time out, but I don't think this is a real strong field. Not a big opinion, but 6-7 for me in the third. All right, on to the fourth race, Ryan. Let's face it, this is not a good field. This is a very weak bunch. The 2 morning line favorites scratched. You got the 3 and 8 both out. I don't even know who's going to be favored. I don't know what to make of this race.
I have a little opinion here.
Okay.
I like Big Juanito a little bit for a few reasons. First, George Papadromo's best angle is first off the claim, which was last time. Last race, stumbled at the start, lost about 2 lengths. Watch this one on tape, which I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Massive move into the far turn. I'm big on Timeform US pace figures, and this run that this horse made was during the fastest part of the race, so had every reason to get tired through the lane, which is exactly what happened. Gets a little bit of a drop from the 16 non-2 to the 10 non-2. Again, not a very strong field.
Yeah.
I wish Diego would have stayed on, and he landed on a runner that ends up scratching. But Big Juanito for me is going to be my top pick. And then moving outward, Smiling Capote last time on tape. The running line says second by head, first by half, first by one. So always forwardly placed. Again, watch this one on tape. Is about almost 3.5, or maybe even 4 lengths from the lead early, and just blasted off to the lead. So you get that exacerbated fraction where if you're looking at the pace figure, which was normal, this one blew through about 3 or 4 lengths through the first turn, which is not easy to do, and especially for this class level. I'm not a big fan of this post drawn to the outside, but there is some speed to the inside that I hope can clear out all those runners and give this one a clear path into the first turn. And then K. Broncho for Kent Sweezy and Abel Escano makes a lot of sense. Just that ship and win, dropping. Didn't run a whole lot last time, but does get class relief in a field that's kind of just peppered with horses that have had plenty of chances at the level.
Yeah, it's just a very empty race, I thought. I picked Smiling Capote. I do like the way he won. Martin Valenzuela, small barn, does a pretty good job. I love the fact he gets Kimura, and that was his only start in the dirt. At least he's lightly raced, so I put him on top. Big Juanito, he's a big lumbering type. I've tried him many times. I put him second. Not a strong feel at all. 10-6 for me in race number 4. Fifth race, take out 12, 13, 14. Got a field of 11 set to go here.
Not a big fan of the post, but there's a lot to like for number 10, Pennyworth, for Phil D'Amato and Juan Hernandez. Was patiently ridden last time on debut, which to me just reeks of a prep. I tend to study jockey intent closely, and when you see those horses, they run 5/8 on turf, and they just sit chilly, that probably wasn't the goal. I think today could be, or it's a stretch out. I'm hoping it's going to be today because I did like what I saw from Pennyworth on debut. Circled nicely in the far turn, 3-4. I had this one going at least 5 or 6 paths wide. Was leveling nicely, had circled nicely in the turn, and then just made a left-hand turn and pretty much for the entire stretch was wanting to lug in.
Very green.
Never leveled. Straightened out okay on the gallop out, but I think if this one can figure things out, and I'm sure this one can improve with Phil D'Amato at the helm, stands a big chance to score at a nice price from an outside post.
I'm same horse on top for me, Ryan. I watched that tape. I wrote very green, lugging in. Didn't really know what she was doing. 2 next out winners out of the race, too.
Strong
so
race.
I went to the 10 Pennyworth on top. Thought Honey Joe might run with Lasix. Pete Urton's horse has been firing, so I went 10, too. But I do like Pennyworth in race number 5. Okay, pick 6 time, kicking off with the 6. Good luck here. This is bottom of the barrel, 12-5 maiden claimers. I don't even know where to start here. For pick 6 purposes, I think we went 7 deep, and maybe we don't have the winner. I don't know. What do you make of this?
Well, this is similar to the 4th race, bottom level claimers, huge field. And I'm going to land on a couple horses that I think have similar angles. The first being fine-tuned for Robertino Diodoro. Drawn outside was a first time at that level last time, dropping from 20 to 10. Was claimed, ship and win possibility. Drawn outside, which sprinting I like, was with the outer flow. That pace I had is kind of upside down. It was slow throughout. It was going to be hard to make up ground in that race. So second time at the level, I think drawn well. Ship and win possibility makes a lot of sense. Moving inward to number 9, Roberando. For Van Belvoet. So funny seeing his name as a trainer. I just, whenever I see his name, I think of him as a jockey. Hated the kickback last time. Was quick to back up. He was even in the stretch, which actually wasn't bad. That was first time at a similar level. Had chipped in from Turf Paradise, and been running, just kind of been knocking at the door. Those Turf Paradise races at those levels aren't bad at all. So that was going to be my second choice. And then I can move inward with a couple, sprinkle a little bit on the 2 and the 4. If you want a big price, should be an absolute massive price. My Pal George for Manny Badia and Abel Cedillo. Just an absolute rocket ship early. Now, this horse didn't run at all in the lane, but had every right to just stop in the lane as well. was blasting off, didn't break well, got knocked around a little bit, was blasting off in between horses, was rank as could be, never found a path, burned all kinds of fuel in the first half of the race, and then jogged home. But if you want a cheap thrill, My Pal George may get you to the front in a race where there's not a whole lot in here.
Yeah, this is a mishmash. I like the horse of Ruben Gomez a lot opening week that won nicely, and I like his horse here, Sir Zoe. Thought he ran better in looks first time out. He was down inside the whole time. He finished pretty well. I mean, relatively speaking, he finished well. And he galloped out well. He galloped out in front. So I'm going to go to Sir Zoe on top. And then going viral, claimed off Mandela last time, gelded a couple of decent works, off a good try. No strong feel here whatsoever. I'm going to go as deep as possible in the pick 6, but 12-6 for selection purposes. All right, 7th race, La Jolla Handicap for $100,000 purse. What are you doing this one, Ryan?
I'm a Padre fan. You a Padre fan?
No.
Padre fan. Well, you got to be today. You got to be today.
Okay.
Because the Padre is going to win the La Jolla. I was born in La Jolla. This is my race.
There you go.
There are 2 races, the Solana Beach, which I grew up in, and the La Jolla. So this is the second of the 2. The Padre, for Phil D'Amato last time, looked like an absolute freight train in the lane. I'm not a big fan of these lag and rally kind of types. They need a little bit of help up front. There doesn't seem to be any speed in front of this one. But the horse that I do believe will make the lead, I don't think is going to get I don't think is going to get this win at a mile and a 16th versus a little bit better. Didn't get it done last time. I don't think it happens again today. So the Padre for me. There were a couple others that were interesting. I thought Game Warrior ran big last time. That was a slow pace. But when I started to pay close attention to the flow in that race, the inferior horses were leading, and it kind of made that close up the rail a little bit hollow for me. So while I wanted to side with Game Warrior, the more I looked at it, I just think that the Padre is a single.
Yeah, I had a tough time with this race. I thought 3 horses could win it. Game Warrior ran to his name. He was very game. Trouble is the runner-up was best. Iron Man Cal got completely left, stumbling was best. But I give Game Warrior credit the way he finished. Freedom's Not Free faced a really good horse. The winner of that race, the American Derby, is a multiple stakes winners, a very nice horse. And the Padre finished well in his only start in this country. So no strong feel. I picked at 1-6, but I could really see any of those 3 taken down to La Jolla. 8th race kicks off the late pick 4, take out 13 and 14. Peter Miller is having a very good meet, and he's got a classic ship and win horse here in nighttime. Do you try and beat him, or do you single him?
I'm not going to try and beat him. And the reason why I'm going to take a stand against him, he is a ship and win, and he is hot, but I'm not a big fan of that drop off of the win. I think he could probably jump this horse, and somebody might take him anyway if he was that good. And that pace last time was an absolute crawl for nighttime. I had the horses running 1, 2, 3, 4 early, finished 1, 2, 4, 3. It was an absolute merry-go-round. They dawdled that race. So I'm willing to take a stand against him, knowing that he's going to be a big favorite. I'm going to land on Stan from Malibu for Tamayo and Diego Herrera. Cautious ride at the rail last time. You get that kind of, they're moving right when they dive left into that Los Alamitos turn. I'd be cautious too. It's a dangerous turn, and he was. And then he kind of just got lost in the pace. They crawled in that race, didn't make up any ground, but those were decent horses relative to these. They were start allowance types. They're sharp runners. I think there's some speed in here. I've got 1, 2, 9, and 11 all potentially want to make the lead. I actually do think Nighttime is going to have to come from a little bit off the pace today, which he can do. But I think 1, 2, 9, 11 coming from different places on the track are going to make things heated up a little bit on the front end. Moving inward to Morello makes a lot of sense off the drop. He just been running over his head. I'm okay with that drop because this horse just hasn't been close, running against better. And then you've got Sweezy again with the ship and win. The 6, Halo Rando, I think has a swing as well. Had been running well before that last race. If you're willing to draw a line through that race at the Los Alamitos Oval, which I am, who's even money, beaten favorite last time, he makes a lot of sense as well. So 8, 5, 6 for me in a race where I'm trying to beat the favorite.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I think the favorites stand out here. The way Peter Miller and owner Tom Cagle played the game with the ship and win, you're looking at the economics here. The claim was voided for 20. So if you win today, you get 18. If somebody claims you get 10, now you're up to 28. Then you get the ship and win bonus, and then you get the bonuses next time. So I think it makes sense from that standpoint. He's an old pro. So if I don't single him, I'm going 4 or 5 deep because I think there's a lot of alternatives. Halo Rando, I agree with you. I think I can toss his last race. He just didn't fire. Kimura gets on board, and he should be a big price. So I went 7, 6 in race number 8.
What thoughts on Kimura? I love
super rider.
Man, I love this guy.
Before the meet started, I was on FanDuel in the studio, and I said, I've got a pick to click for Del Mar. And whoever I was on with said, who's that? I said, Kimura. He was injured early on at St. Ida. He got his business back. He's got a top agent in Brian Beach. I'm a big fan, Ryan.
Huge. I'm a huge fan.
Great hands, great position rider. I'm with you 100%.
Love the aggressivity as well.
Yeah, just a really good rider. 9th race. This is final pick 3, the $3 pick 3, which is a really good value bet. The 1 is out, Tropical Rain Day, and the 12 West Fresno is out. I thought that scratch was interesting, Ryan, because what it did, it allowed the also eligible to get in. They're both owned by Harris Farms, so you'd scratch the 12 would be a price. You get the favorite in. I thought that horse would be tough to beat, and I think Expressive Love's going to run well. I thought his first sprint was not that bad. Blinkers go on. I love the fact Barrios stays on, so I went 9 and 13.
I chose the 13 on top as well. Only also eligible to get in today is going to be my top pick. Calm Down Kimmy, who is not named after Kazuchi Kimura. But very fast race last time. It was an honest pace, dueled 3 wide, opened up, just got run over late, gets blinkers, is drawn well on the outside. I'm going to take a shot with Sexy Blue, middle of the track, for Angel Vega and jockey Alex Bautista. I thought had a good performance last time. Knocking at the door, second 2 back at Santa Anita, which I like to see. Sometimes you see those races at Los Alamitos. You're a little bit cautious just because of the class comes down a little bit and horses seem to move up. Speed figures seem to go up, but I do like that race 2 back. A fast pace was game down the lane, so 13-5 for me in the 9th.
10th race is the co-feature CTBA for the California bred scratch of 2. What's a good name for these 2-year-olds? I thought it was a 2-horse race, right? Liberation won big, has a really nice pedigree for a California bred, and won huge and has been steady training. And visually, I thought Jasmina was super impressive. An educational race first time out. If you watch the replay of her last race, she was in hand from the quarter pole to the wire. I think the rider might have tapped her twice just to keep her focused, but I thought she won big. So I went those 2, Jasmina on top of Liberation.
I just can't get around these horses.
No.
They're just, the pedigree is just, it's so far superior.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and get around this one. Is freshened, jogged last time. Big chalk. I mean, I don't like using 2 unless you're playing a pick 6, which I know you are.
Right.
If you're using 2 and you've got a couple of the chalks, it just makes no sense from a ticket writing standpoint to do that. So I'll probably single Liberation to everything.
11th and final wraps up the week. Big Vengeance is out. The 11 American Tiger is out. I thought this is a race that could go a lot of different ways, too. I picked Love the Pressure, Michael McCarthy's horse. The horse is a half to 2 turf winners. Definition of an inside trip at Los Al last time. I think drawing outside is going to help. Going long is going to help. So I went 8 on top of the 4 Mulholland Drive in a difficult race.
Benny the Jet.
Yeah, right.
I mean, how can we can't go wrong. We're gonna push all in on Benny the Jet, and for many reasons actually, not just because the name is amazing. Sammy Davis won in this horse's debut last time. Sammy Davis was a well-meant firster from the Sadler Barn.
Yeah.
Super fast, all kinds of steam, validated that steam, and won easy that day in a fast race. I had that track actually as a strong favored speed track. So you've got some upside there, gets blinkers. I thought the trip wasn't very good. This horse galloped out nicely. Wasn't a big fan of JJ coming off. But there's still some upside with Craig Lewis second time out as well. So JJ goes to Peter Miller runner. That could just be, politics with riding for a trainer that's going to give you more mounts. Mo Forza, by the way, Mulholland Drive, what a monster he was. So this horse gets back to turf and goes long. So Mulholland Drive has a swing. I do think Sagunto for Ryan Hansen, coming out of that same race with Benny the Jet, has some upside as well. Got shuffled a little bit. Both of these horses were discouraged from the kickback in that race. Both get to turf today, which can show upside, and both actually galloped out nicely. So 3-5 for me, and I did think Love the Pressure for Michael McCarthy and Acewell Espinoza has some upside as well. You talked about that glued to the inside.
Yeah.
This horse was like right against the rail too.
Whole time.
It's literally like quicksand down there. It's like running out of 15th Street near the parking lot. Yeah, it's a good race, good challenging race to close out a very good card here at Del Mar. Ryan, thanks for your time. You're going to be me next week. You're filling in when I go on a little vacation, so good. Thanks for doing that, and thanks for coming on. No problem. Thanks for having me, Kurt. Thank you. Ryan's been my guest. I will see you all in the paddock in about 15 minutes. Thanks for watching.